Welcome back, everyone, to the Grindhouse Frostfront Qualifiers Day 1 Group B here. We are our second matchup here. We're seeing Gorilla return with Kexo playing the Mastermind, killing against Misery Survivors on Wesker here on the Mastermind in starting out today here. Kexo gonna find some survivors around the edge of the map here, finding the scratch marks. Gonna find someone around this jungle gym here, and that's gonna be Abby on the Meg, getting an instant grab. A great use of the power around this tile here. Pal drop ahead for Abby here. Just gonna chain it straight back into Shaq here, keeping trying to kind of cheeky hit through the pallet, but Abby pre-dropping that pallet in front of Kexo's face. You're not allowing the hit to happen, but the second chain is going to hit, and it's going to be the first down for Kexo here. A pretty fast start, all things considered here. I'm joined once again by my co-host Robot. What are your thoughts about Wesker sentence in general, and how do you think what do you think about the start of this set? Because that was a pretty fast down, all things considered, and not a lot of pallets thrown either way.
Yeah, I think Kexo is doing a great job here. I think the survivors of Misery kind of were caught a little bit off guard, I think. And this map is somewhat big, and for Kexo to find someone that fast is it's pretty good for him. So it's setting up quite the pressure onto the survivors of Misery here. And Kexo has information on two survivors, of course the one hooked. Oh no, Ultra unfortunately not.
And the throw
there. Yeah, so this is going to be a 2-tag over here potentially. Oh my gosh, yeah, and another grab there. So Kexo, I mean, after the previous performance, I think Kexo was like, okay, we're gonna take over here. We're going to was a difficult match, the singularity one that they had. So Kexo is just quickly getting things settled here for Gorilla to get a good win, I think a good condition there to win this second matchup for Gorilla. So, you know, the chase is going to continue here in this area where the generator has been completed already. So this is good for Misery, but unfortunately we get another grab. So Kexo is kind of crazy here on the Wesker bounce here, and he's going to wait for the second one. And I mean, the Shaq pallet is gone already, so not much to do here for Abby. Unfortunately, that is going to be the second one. So yeah, so that is the second hook onto Abby, and after that they're going to be on death hook, and only one generator completed. And we have information on where Claudette is. We'll see how this chase goes.
Yeah, absolutely. And now the pain res is being used on Abby here. Pain res wasn't used on Ultra either, so now Ultra is also pain resable, and that's gonna be another amazing curve around the rock, and the throw too, not allowing Wancy to get that much distance. This is an incredible performance from Kexo out here, being able to find the survivors near the edge and just throwing them into a wall, because if they're thrown, not only do they still take the injure, but Kexo isn't slowed down that much, and in fact the power starts recovering as the throw finishes. So it's a really great spot to be in if you're a Wesker here. We're gonna set up a little tent here on top of the hill, you know, get our tent down, maybe a campfire, build a campfire, start grilling some marshmallows here, as Kexo's going to set up on this hill, trying to make sure that no survivors can come in to get the save onto Abby here, which is pretty crucial, honestly, because I kill onto Abby now when there's still 4 generators left and all the survivors are still pain resable. That's a pretty great spot to be in. We're gonna end up leaving early as Abby ends up dying on death hook now, so we have Wancy injured and the infection, and that's actually gonna be the full infection coming out for Wancy. So Wancy's found, they're pretty much dead as soon as Kexo gets eyes on them, because the full infection hinders them, slows them down, and they're also injured already. And full infection means that the grab is completely on the table here. Kexo is just going to use the bounce to try and find more survivors. We found one survivor working on generator, but it's going to end up leaving that gen, trying to look for someone a bit more out of position here. I think we're going to find someone around Shaq here, and yes, we're going to find Ducky around Shaq. No pallet to be made, and cannot make it into that pallet in time here, so that's just going to be another hit onto Ducky here, using both of the bounds to connect that hit here. We're going to play around this pallet, gym, but not actually gonna play around the pallet gym itself. Instead, Ducky's just gonna send it towards the edge of the map, trying to delay their death as much as possible here in the face of Kexo. But Kexo will still not lament, and that is going to be another hook for Kexo and potentially a pain res. Yes, that would be a pain res here.
Yeah, Kexo is doing a great job here, making use of the bounce. We did see 2 generators completed since Abby died, so we're at 2 gens left. So that is good for Misery. However, you know, we have information of both survivors, and Kexo's just gonna break this pallet over here and kind of close out the options here for Wansi. Good job there, good vault by Wansi. I think Kexo completely lost her. I mean, I don't think. I think Kexo was wondering what happened. I guess I don't think the sound for the vault happened. So maybe Wansi's running quick and quiet. I'm not sure. At least I didn't hear either. So maybe that's what Kexo was looking around for. But Kexo, this little hill here has been very helpful for him. Just hooking survivors on the edge of the map to prevent the team to come over and get those saves for free. So Kexo keeping an eye out on the setup here that he has. The generators have a good spread, but unfortunately, I don't think Mystery has been putting a lot of pressure on generators. And we're trying to get this main building done, but Kexo is just too close and continues the chase here, predicting where the survivors of Mystery are going to run to. Now Claudette is going to continue over here by the little console that we have. I'm sorry, the little table here. And if Kexo plays this well, he might be able to zone Claudette out with some of these bounds. So I think that's gonna happen here. Yeah, quickly Kexo giving Claudette the pallet side, but Claudette not being able to play around it. The unhook does happen, so now Wensi and I'm sorry, Ultra and Ducky are gonna try to. Oh, Kexo predicting the where Claudette was gonna go, where Wensi was gonna go. So is this going to be? Yeah, this is a fresh hook. Yeah, this is the last fresh. So this is going to be another pain res. Not the last fresh. I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah, it is
that,
the
that,
last
was-
fresh.
that was the last fresh. Yeah, Ultra's been
Yeah.
hooked already, but the Ultra's hook wasn't a pain res, so he's
Yeah.
still pain resable.
Okay, thank you for that. So yeah, so all 4 freshes and still 2 gens to go. Not looking so good here for Mystery, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. During that chase, Ultra did get Ducky off the hook here, but Ducky has not managed to spray themselves yet. So they need to find that spray can pretty fast, or else that infection is going to keep ticking and ticking. And meanwhile, Ultra, the last one, without any sort of infection or an injured, but that's going to be Ducky found. And Ducky's infection's already been ticking down already. So it's very possible that in the middle of this chase, they could get fully infected. And if you're fully infected and you're still healthy, that does not matter. You can get grabbed from the healthy state here. We're gonna chase onto Ducky here. That full infection coming through, that hinder as well. This is just a death sentence for Ducky here, trying to. Oh, that was a pretty good play by Ducky, I'd say. Trying to get the okay, well, I'm not too sure about the pallet throw. I don't think that was very well played, but I appreciate Ducky not immediately run to the pallet to see if they could bait out one of Kexo's dashes. Maybe have Kexo dash a little further out, but that's getting chased onto Ultra as well, with Ducky dead and Wensi off the hook, but still injured, and so has that infection. Kexo going for a bit of a mind game around the jungle gym, and it works perfectly on Ultra, catching Ultra off guard and getting the M1 tag here. We're gonna use the power to grab Ultra, running straight through the pallet, getting the grab immediately. That is incredibly well played by Kexo here. There's being another pain res on the board. Ooh, not pain res on Ultra again, but I think Kexo realizes that it's more important to just get the hook rather than the pain res itself, because yeah, this is the only gen left with any progress on it, and the chase onto Wansi happening. Wansi off the hook immediately, but as I said earlier, despite the getting off the hook will reduce your infection by like halfway, but it will not completely get rid of the Ouroboros state. That's gonna be the last grab onto Wansi. A fantastic performance from Kexo here. A 4K2 for the Gorillas here. Fantastic performance from Kexo. These are some insane like dashes and some mind games happening from Kexo as well, just very well played by him.
Yeah, I mean, Kexo is just taking matters into his own hands here for Team Gorilla and setting a very difficult win condition for Misery. You know, Misery has to get a 4K3 to win or a 4K2 to tie. So that is a tall order, even though Shelter Woods is can be a map that, you know, is I guess has a lot of open space for some of these bounds, but it's also not very small. So traversing across the map without running into some survivors can be difficult as well if they play it stealthy. So that is going to be it for this first match here. So next we're going to have Misery playing Killer and Gorilla going on to Survivor. So we're going to take just a few minutes to set up the match. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this Frostfront qualifiers matchup between Gorilla and Misery. We have Misery playing Killer at the moment. A few minutes ago, we saw Kexo playing Killer for Gorilla, getting a 4K2 with a great Mastermind performance. So it's up to Ultra here to get at least a 4K2 to save 1 point for Misery, and of course, if they want to get all 3 points, that's a 4K3. Um, I am Robot casting today alongside a Monarch. Monarch, do you think that Ultra can pull this off and get some points on the board for Misery?
I mean, to be fair, that was a freakishly good performance from like Kexo here. I was not expecting that kind of performance here. But to be fair though, that play, I don't know what just happened there. I think Kexo wanted to vault the pallet after Ultra did, but then Ultra just got a body block. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happened here. Good patience on Ultra. Ooh, but misses it just very slightly here, and Kexo's gonna end up walking away even for just a couple more seconds. Yeah, but I think that what Ultra really needs is for a 4K3, you kind of just have to play out of your mind. You kind of just have to either have survivors do just a ton of mistakes, or you just have to play freakishly good because like a 4K3 is meaning like, okay, you're interrupting gens like as much as you can. That is a pain rush coming through, but not fast enough for the gen here. But that's gonna hit another gen somewhere else. Now, I think what's more interesting is that like Ultra, the bottom three perks is running Pain Res, Agitation, and Corrupt. Those are pretty standard, honestly. But in that last slot, a lot of the time you see a Wesker running Brutal Strength. It's because a lot of the times with Wesker, if they pre-drop a pallet, you can Brutal Strength to break that pallet, and your power has already come back, and then you just chase them down. But with Ruin in play, yes, you get more gen regression, especially when you enter that 3v1 scenario. You end up losing a lot of chase potential. So I wonder if Kexo, I wonder if Ultra like has weighted in his mind is thinking like, yeah, it's more worth it to run the Ruin over Brutal Strength here. That's going to be a chase on the Kexo immediately off the hook. Your Ultra zoning him away from, you know, going back to TNL, not the safest tile to be in the world, a very 50-50 tile here. Ultra's going to pull out the power. Can you get the chain connection? Yes, he can. This will be another hook on to Kexo here. A Kexo on death hook with 4 gens remaining.
Yeah, great job here by Ultra. He missed a couple of bounds there, unfortunately hitting the corner of a couple of rocks, but able to get the second hook relatively fast onto Kexo, and now we still see Ruin in play. So Ruin doing a bit of damage there on the generator on main building. You know, I wanted to point out also that the first gen being finished so quickly, probably we had, you know, 2 survivors there doubling and trying to get trying to avoid getting pain rest, but and it worked out, and Ruin is now gone. So oh wow, we have a little bit of ping performance, or you know, ping issues here between Ultra and Lara there, with the pallet being thrown and still getting the hit through on Wesker's side. So, you know, Wesker things, of course, in DBD. But Ultra deciding here to drop Ace and continue in the chase onto Kexo, and that is going to be the down. And if we get the death here, that is going to be a death with 4 generators remaining, and that is going to be the case. So Ultra here still with a chance of, you know, right now it's a 4, it's a 3 generators left. So, oh, never mind. So
No.
now we have the tie condition at least. You know, Caster Curse, of course. So, but still, you know, Ultra, you know, depending on how they play right now, we have 2 survivors injured. We have eyes on Ace, And if this bound plays well, now unfortunately hitting the edge of the corner there. Or the rock. So Ultra here continuing the chase onto Ace. Ace is a fresh hook, of course, because we've only had hooks onto Kexo. So if Ace is able to waste some time here, that's not going to be the case, however. Um, you know, we were potentially going to see maybe another generator completed. But no, we do still have Pain Rest. So Ultra is going to take advantage of the Agitation perk to quickly move onto the middle of the map. Try to find a Pain Rest hook. Unfortunately, RNG is not on Ultra's side, and Ultra not able to find a Pain Rest hook. Maybe it works out for the best, because I'm not sure that the survivors were actually pressuring another generator. So maybe Ultra has a chance to, you know, look around, take a look at the generators here. All the progress that we had on main building is gone now. So maybe this worked out for the best, and he's able to save the regression from pain rest onto another generator later in the match. But yeah, so Monarch, I mean, it's not looking too bad here for Ultra to try to at least get a tie. So what do you think? What do you think the survivors of Gorilla are gonna do here?
I think that so far the Gorilla survivors have been really good at getting thrown by Wesker's power. Yeah, as being shed by Dan right here. Thank you for the demonstration. But I think so far the survivors of Gorilla have actually been doing a really good job so far. Like despite the fact that like Kexa was killed really early on. Like the survivors of Gorilla were just doing their really best to just like, even though Kexo was going to be tunneling out really fast, they made sure to spread their gen pressure as fast as possible to get those big gens popping. Like even while the teammate is, being tunneled out here, that's gonna be down onto Dan here, potentially trying to go for setting up for a pallet save, but no, instead we're gonna spit back onto Spitz here immediately off the hook. Trying to mind game around this rock tile a little bit. Gonna drop the pallet and gonna break in the pallet here. Spitz probably sending it towards another pallet here, but Ultra having the power hold up here and is gonna miss Spitz by a little bit, but Spitz has to go back to this TLL here, a not very safe tile to go up against. See here, can Ultra get the mind game out, pulling out the Wesker power here. Spitz not playing around the TL now, gonna send it towards the edge of the map here, and is gonna miss the second bound onto Spitz. Spitz doing an absolutely great job at stalling as much time as possible here. As we saw earlier, that main building generator has a ton of progress on it. Very easily, Dan and Anna could have been doubling it, but yeah, they were doubling it. That's a lot of that seems like a lot of progress since the last time we saw it, but they're just gonna walk away now, not allowing Ultra to get the free down onto Dan if he catches them out. And then Spitz, meanwhile, doing a very good job at the edge of the map. Not a lot of resources to work with here, but doing his best to stall it out here. Now Ultra left in a pretty awkward scenario here. The Ruin is gone a long time ago, so you cannot rely on the passive regression of Ruin. You kind of have to just go out and hunt for these pain res gens and these pain resistance hooks. I was gonna be finding Anna here, working on the main building gen. This chase is gonna be pretty crucial for Ultra. He needs some sort of regression at this point in the game if he wants to get the tie for Misery here. Anna has to work around this front main pallet here. See here, gonna vault over it. Ultra going for the swing, but not getting it down. Forced to just break the pallet. Anna stalling for even more time here. Dan and Spitz here could have been doubling a gen this whole time, and I think that's they were doing here, but finding Spitz again at the edge of the map only with a how to work with, but that is the chem trap going through, hindering the Wesker here. Now Spitz, only thing left is the Z wall near the edge of the map here. Can he stall as much time as possible? That's gonna be a gen popping, and that's gonna be the win for Gorillas here, as Spitz just refuses to go down here, but goes down eventually, but the damage has been done. That was very well played to the survivors of Gorilla for getting those gens popped in time.
Yeah, unfortunately for Ultra, the chases that he started just took too long to finish, and wasn't able to continue the pressure that he had built up with the tunnel out of Dan, I'm sorry, Kexo. So, unfortunately, Ultra losing all that pressure and not being able to complete the chases or to finalize the chases quickly enough, unable to use the gen regression that he had with Pain Res, unable to to activate it, that's why Gorilla was able to put pressure and finish one generator. And I'm pretty sure that the last one is being worked on because Spitz is still on the hook. I don't think Dan is gonna come over, and well, he's kind of lurking around here. But Anna is going to quickly get onto this generator. I mean, maybe they didn't see they didn't see Wesker coming over around the rock there. So Anna is going to get grabbed and going to get injured here. Spitz is almost dead here, but no, Dan coming right in time. Let's see what Ultra decides to do here. She's gonna get another tag onto Dan here. Um, and yeah, so pressure is back on for Ultra, but of course this is just to try to get um the best result that he can. The match has been decided. So yeah, tough game here for Ultra. Great effort, however. Getting to a 4K2 to try at least try to tie and get some points for Misery, but unfortunately not being able to do that. So great patience here by Spitz. And Ultra deciding to just vault the window quickly with the bounds, and now Spitz is going to go to main and go around this table to try to waste more time and allow for Dan and Anna to pressure another generator here. Spitz's patience there, not dropping the pallet. Ultra has the chance here to try to hit the bounds, and fortunately not able to get either, and doesn't even vault over the pallet. So but the down comes along eventually, and now Ultra's just gonna take the hook. So yeah, Dan and Anna probably just working out the last generator. We'll see if Ultra has enough time to go and interrupt it.
Yeah, the chase onto Kexler here stalled a little longer by that pallet. Has to be the last gen popping. Now the gates are being powered. Dan realizing that he has nowhere to run is just gonna give himself over to Ultra here, and now Anna in the same boat here. Pretty good bend actually to close out the match, but it's a pretty foregone conclusion here. That is going to be the overall set win for Gorillas, taking it over Misery. Overall, I think that Gorilla Survivors, like I said earlier, just had the better macro game. I think that despite Kexa being, Tylenol very fast, they were able to spread out their pressure along the generators and getting those gens popped as they needed it to. And also the fact that they were able to just hold their own in chase and last long enough for their teammates to get these gens popped. So overall, I think that was just a really solid performance coming out from Gorillas here.
Yeah. So now Gorilla is going to get their first 3 points for this group, and they're tied right now with Dead Future. And we'll have to see the next matchup here, and see what happens. But Misery 0 points so far. Dead Future with 3, and Gorilla as well. So we'll see the rest of the matches, see how it goes. It's starting to get exciting here. So please stick around. We're gonna take a little break here to set up the next matchup. So we'll be right back.